Shalom Yasharallah, this your brother Dawada, coming back at this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of great millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, Aki, and pushing this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So I want to jump into this here article, still, harping on the same things in the times that we're living in, all right? We've been telling you about these things, and now it's being broadcasted on the regular everyday news, It says health passports for air travel means mandatory COVID-19 vaccines cloaked in the illusion of choice, all right? And this is how these things are going to go, all right? They might not say, oh, we're not going to force you to take these things. For instance, look at how your life is now, Think about how hard it is to do a lot of things without an email address, all right? A lot of the time, like fill out applications and things like that. You have to go online and do all these different things. So it's really hard to do things without an email address, all right? Or a cell phone number or things like that, or a smartphone. A lot of people are like, oh, I want to get out of the smartphone situation, but they have everything pretty much to where you have to have these things, all right? So, for instance, in this scenario, hey, if you want to fly, well, let's just read the article. It says an airline lobbying group has volunteered its service as private sector enforcers for the COVID vaccine mandates many countries have promised not to enact, all right? Because they're going to so-called, they're hiding in the cloak of, no, we don't want to be this tyrannical government or whatnot. We want what's best for the people and everything else like that. But, certain circumstances are going to force our hands to do certain things, or, don't worry about these conspiracy theorists who's talking about we're going to force you to take the mark of the beast or whatnot, and so on and so forth. All right, when they're like, well, we're not forcing you to have this, but look, if you want to get a job, you want to go to work, you want your kids to be able to go to school, you want to go inside the grocery store to be able to eat, get your own groceries and things like that. I was watching a video last night about that, how, in certain places it's kind of like a dilemma where, they had to close down, one of the main grocery stores that they had, and they had another grocery store for delivery services, but for the people with COVID or whatnot, it was like, damn, like, well, we can't get our groceries delivered. How are we supposed to eat? How are we supposed to go bring anything inside of our house if we can't go out to go get these things, And so, hey, this is what they're forcing people to basically do, It says an airline lobbying group has volunteered to serve as a private sector enforcer for the COVID vaccine mandates many countries have promised not to enact. Good luck flying or getting a job or government benefits without one. And that's pretty much the end-all be-all of this whole scenario, man. All right, that's how they're going to wind up doing these things, man. The CEO of an Australian airline, and a lot of people, when we tell them about, hey, they're going to force you to take a chip, they're probably, ain't going to force me to do this. They ain't going to force me to do that. Yeah, they're not going to necessarily force you, like, hey, take this, it will get to a point like that. But nevertheless, in the first couple phases of these things, like, all right, well, we're not going to force you to do these things, just like the mask situation. A lot of places, they're not forcing you with a gun to your head to wear a mask inside these damn stores. They're like, yo, you can't come in the store without a mask on, So, in a sense, they're not saying, hey, look, you have to have a mask, a mandatory mask, whenever you go anywhere. No, they just tell you, you can't come inside the store without a damn mask. All right. And so that is stopping people from going inside these stores if they're not wearing masks, It says the CEO of an Australian airline, Qantas, got less than an enthusiastic reaction earlier this week when he suggested all international travelers will soon be required to provide proof of vaccination against the novel coronavirus before they'll be allowed on board. All right, so hey, they already laying it down. Like, first with international travel, all right, like the scripture say, you're going to desire to see a city but not be able to, because why? They're going to have these different restrictions and things going on. Like, look, you can't come inside, you can't leave this state. Let's say, for instance, New York. Oh, New York is a hotbed state, because I know when these things first started happening, it was like here in Florida, they had a checkpoint at the border. It was like, yo, if you were coming from certain states, they weren't allowing you to enter. All right. So let's just say, for instance, you in New York, you want to either go to New York or leave out of New York. Like, look, you got to have this here proof of a vaccination on file before you can get on this here plane or travel like that. All right. So it says while establishment types thought it was a smashing idea, skeptics were horrified at the thought of private corporations could force them to consume a pharmaceutical concoction just to fly. And again, they have certain ways of doing these things. You have to understand that this is basically a fascist society, all right, where you're ruled by the corporations. It's like a fascist technocracy, really the corporate how I say, the technology corporations pretty much run a lot of the things here. But nevertheless, they tell you, well, look, America could tell you, hey, look, we don't really got no rules for nothing. All right. You know what I'm saying? We're not forcing you to wear a shirt. We're not forcing you to wear shoes. But if all the stores inside of America say, look, no shirt, no shoes, no service, guess what? You can't go in the store with no shirt or no shoes. And, the next thing is going to be without proof of this vaccine, And, hey, they're going to have counterfeit ways of people, just like they was doing in the beginning. Oh, we got a counterfeit. They were selling these little cards saying that you didn't have to be vaccinated. You didn't have to wear a mask or whatever, whatnot. And them shits was selling out. So the people going to look for ways to bootleg in these things. And lo and behold, don't be surprised if the government is behind a lot of this bootlegging or whatever, whatnot, just so they're like, see, there's a problem, there's a hole. And so we got to stop this here, not plagiarism, but, falsifying of information. So what do we need to do? We need to have a real-time data transmission to keep us up to date on these things, all right? It says the most sinister aspect of such a policy, however, is that it won't be forced at all. Wannabe travelers can either take the rush through side effects ridden jab or stay at home. Just like I was saying, man. All right, they're not necessarily saying, hey, look, you gotta have this, you gotta have this, you gotta have that. But look, unless you want to be a quarantine into your home, all right, you know what I'm saying? And I can see them even pushing even further things off to that. Like, look, we're not going to deliver your mail. We're not going to deliver food to your house. We're not going to deliver anything to your house because we don't know if we touch any surfaces or whatever, whatnot. Or you got other people in your house, your children or whatever, whatnot. Hey, we're going to have to take them out. Now you're being a threat to your own neighbors and so on and so forth. And they're going to close down on that as well, too, But they're also doing this under the guise of these corporations, so you can't so-called, quote-unquote, blame the government. See, the government ain't forcing us to do this. Like, bro, what's the difference, bro? You still have to sit here and take this here vaccination or this here chip, at the end all be all, man, to be able to function in society. And that's exactly what the scriptures say. No man should be able to buy or sell save he that had the mark, all right, which is basically the RFID chip being inserted inside your body. But you can see the forerunner of those things with how they're rolling out the vaccine situation, all right? The illusion of choice adroitly skirts the thicket of the legal issues surrounding the mandatory vaccination in most Western countries. And like I was just saying, it's kind of hard for them to push out these laws and people not to flip out. But listen to this. As even the most draconian pandemic emergency laws, i.e. America coming down, speaking, they basically pretend as, speak as a lamb, but they basically as a dragon, these draconian laws, these harsh measures, these harsh laws, man. All right, they're going to take your kids away if you don't get your kids vaccinated or whatever, whatnot. You can't go inside the grocery store to buy your own food. Like, yo, wait. How you going to deny me, the right to provide for my own goddamn self, man, and get food? You're just starving us out. Like, well, no, we're not starving you out. You have the choice. You can go buy food. It's just you can't come to the store without a vaccine, And so that's where we at. Let me go back up. It says, the thicket of the legal issues surrounding the mandatory vaccination in most Western countries, as even the most draconian pandemic emergency laws run into difficulties when they try to mandate what would be the amount of pharmaceutical experiments on unwilling participants. All right. The Nuremberg Code and the Geneva Convention, for that matter, exist for a reason, and the nuclear level public shaming deployed against so-called anti-vaxxers can only do so much. Deploying the carrot, all right, and you have to understand about the carrot and the horse. Deploying the carrot exemption from travel restrictions and week-long quarantines, entries into concerts and football matches, and other perks, rather than the stick of mandates and arrest is much more likely to drive reluctant populations to the needle. So, hey, they're going to try to draw you in, like the scriptures say, when they say, shall say peace and safety, and under their policy, and through peace they shall destroy many, all right, because they're not coming out, full-fledged with their horns right now, We also know that they're coming out with the military to start pushing. They know they're going to have some kickback, but nevertheless, they're going to try to woo you in with these other things, man, all right, just like, hell, try getting on try downloading a damn app from the Apple Store or the Google Play Store, all right, without either a Gmail account or a Apple account, man. Like, no, you got to sign up for Apple in order to get any of these here apps, man. All right, forcing you to use their email address. You can go to the store and buy the iPhone. You can go get you an iPhone, this and that, but you can't use the damn phone without an email address. But they're not forcing you to get that email address now, are they? Right? But if you want to use the phone, like, well, we're not stopping you from buying the phone, turning the phone on and doing whatever you want to do with the phone, but nothing's going to work unless you get that email address, The government of Slovakia was able to test a whopping 97% of its population in under 3 weeks by rewarding the compliant with certificate, excusing them from curfew and gathering restrictions. All right, and this is how they're going to start drawing these things out, because they know how, like the scripture said, a gift destroyeth the heart. They're going to give you some kind of incentive, or reward, a token, or whatever, whatnot, some kind of, hey, the economy's all screwed up. They might, give you another stimulus check. Think about it, all these people waiting on stimulus checks and unemployment checks. Everybody, look, take this vaccine or this here microchip, and we'll give you, every month that you lost it and work, we'll wind up giving you $10,000 for that month, And hey, people who was making, let's just say $2,000 a month, of course they would take that, because they'd be like, shit, that's a come up, shit. We about to go ahead and go through with that, And look at how many people took this, the PPE loans or whatever, whatnot, It says, and it's excusing them from curfews and gathering restrictions, and the UK Nudge Unit is considering embracing this paradigm for the vaccinations itself, because they're coming in with peace, all right, speaking as a lamb, all right, like they're trying to help you out. The International Air Transport Association, a global airline lobbying group, has shown that it is backing of Qantas' questionable quest for its 100% on board as well, all right. I'm not going to read any more of this here article, but you get the point, all right? You get exactly what they're going to try to do and how they're going to, the damn devil, the devil's not, he don't ever come to you like that, where it's like, it's just like the goddamn white man. You do have some, like, quote-unquote, so-called racist, belligerent bigots or whatever, whatnot. Fuck you niggers, we hate you niggers. You got a couple of them. Those ain't really the threats. You shouldn't really be worried about them. It's the ones that's, oh yeah, we want to help you out. We want to provide the best education for your children, the best health care for your children. We want to make sure you get the best food and so on and so forth, and really, because they're speaking to you with smooth words, man. All right, but what's in his heart? It's going to be war that's in his heart, man. The devil ain't, think about any type of scenario you've been in where you've been scammed or gypped. All right, the deal ain't never looked like it was a bad deal. You go and you buy something. Oh shit, girl, this on discount. What up, whoop de whoop, blah, blah, blah. Go ahead and get this, and that. And then you go and you buy that shit that's all fucked up. All right, why is it like that? All right, because they didn't wooed you with the quote unquote the advertising of it. All right. So we're gonna start here in 2nd Ezra 15 and 14. Because this is encompassing a lot more things than just airline restriction travels. Because what are these things gonna lead to? You see the cuffs of the holidays coming up and things being canceled. People want to travel and so on and so forth. People been locked down damn near the whole year. All right, now they see a so-called end in sight where they think it's an end in sight. Oh, vaccines coming out, so on and so forth. You're gonna have a lot of people that are gonna run to go get these things. A lot of people are gonna be against these things. All right, and then once people start being barred from certain places and things like that. Hey, you can't come in the grocery store unless you have verification. Can't buy food unless you have verification. We can't deliver to your house unless you got verification. We can't do this. You can't do that unless you got verification. All right, then you're going to start seeing people turn to, survival mode, man. Oh, I can't go in the grocery store because such on and so forth, and this, and that. You see what they was doing over the toilet paper, man. All right, oh, I can't stockpile on toilet paper. We got to fight the next person in line for it or whatever, whatnot, man. All right, so just imagine, you being barred from, let's say you got to wear a wristband or some kind of whatever, whatnot to show that you got this vaccine. What do you think these people are going to start doing? Waiting into the parking lot till, a lot of these feeble people be walking out. You see a woman come out, her and her kids, and some big dude who don't want to take the vaccine go and snatch her ass up or snatch her cart or whatever, whatnot, man. All right, or just, man-on-man combat over, because he got the vaccine and you don't want to go and get that. But you're like, shit, I got to feed my family, man. All right, so all these things are going to start turning into straight-up chaos, man. All right, when people can't go to work, can't provide for their family no more, man. This is going to separate families and things like that. You might have a husband that don't want to take the vaccine. Then you have a wife that, we got to vaccinate this and that because we scared the kids and blah, blah, blah. She might call the police on you, like being in this here truth, man. They're your own household going to be thy enemies, or come to set a father at variance with his son or the mother against her daughter, man. All right, so all these things are going to turn out to all out battle royale, man. All right. Hey, they start giving out people incentives or payoffs or whatever, whatnot for taking this here vaccine. And then other people who've been unemployed for so long, they don't want to go get these things. They're going to start looking for everybody else who's got these things, man. All right. Woe unto the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. All right. And we're just really a few days away from these things starting to happen out, man, because they're trying to their Operation Warp Speed, they're trying to get all these people vaccinated or whatever, whatnot, man. And just think about what that's going to be like when you show up to work and everybody is all happy. Oh, we got our vax, and then you got one person that didn't get a a shot or whatever, whatnot, and everybody looking at them crazy. Oh, you trying to kill us all or whatever, whatnot, and so on and so forth, or somebody lose their job or whatever, what, man, this is just going to turn out to all out chaos, man. You got your neighbors or whatever, whatnot, they all got vaccinated, they see you, they ain't got the thing now, they, oh, this guy has to be the one that's going, so on and so forth, man. It's going to be a real dangerous environment, man, where everybody's going to be pretty much enemies with everybody else, man. All right. Verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor their princes, and of course their actions shall stand in their power. And we already see these things happening right now with the defund the police, the no police zones, the riots and the protests and all these different things and so on and so forth. And, with the elections and everything like that, and Trump not wanting to step down and everything like that. And again, like I said, man, when they stop you from going inside these stores and traveling and things like that, and people lose everything, all right, well, I guess I can't go back to work ever again in my life. All right, I can't go back to the grocery store ever again in my life until I get this scenario. What is that going to turn people into, man? Brute beasts and savages out here, man. All right, because all the regular rules is going to go out the window. It's just survival of the fittest now, man. There's no time to be moral or just and right in this here society when I got to feed my kids and shit like that, man. It's either that or my kids are going to starve to death. So, the most peaceful, docile man there is will go out to the grocery store parking lot and start hitting people up over their groceries, man. All right. Verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. All right, now how much is this here prophecy speaking loud and clear as we reading these here articles, all right, about how they're going to, they're like, oh, we're not going to force a vaccine on everybody. The government's not going to force a vaccine on everybody. But guess what? These corporations, this travel, they're basically not saying it's a travel ban, but you can't get on the plane. We're not stopping anybody from flying. You just can't get on this here plane without a vaccine for the public health safety of everybody else on board, We want to try to curb the spread of this here virus or whatever, whatnot. So, hey, look, you have to take this so that we can ensure the safety of everybody else, And we're not forcing you to do it. If you don't want to take it, you don't have to fly. You can find a different way to travel, man. All right. And they already do things like this anyway. It's like anything on the airplane, it's, anything really, they're not forcing you to, I was going to say they don't force you not to have a gun on the airplane, but hey, when you get on the airplane, sometimes you have a bottle or something, like a bottle of water, and if it's open, or a soda or something, if it's open, they're not going to allow you on the plane, They're like, well, look, that's not allowed on board. We're not saying you can't get on the plane, but guess what? If you want to fly, you got to throw that soda away, or you can keep the soda, and you can just find a different way to your destination. We're not forcing you to do anything. The choice is yours, what you're going to do, all right? Verse 18, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Like I was just saying, man. Well, let me read the next one. Let me read this again. Verse 18, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid, and the man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, and shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Again, how much more clear is this here prophecy speaking than in a time like this, where they're about to be like, look, can't go to the grocery store no more unless you got this vax. If you got somebody that's a hardcore anti-vaxxer that's not trying to take this here vaccine, and they're not going to take it, all right? And that was the last time they was able to go to the grocery store and get some food. Eventually, they're going to run out of food, all right? Then they're going to be looking at each other and their neighbors. They know their neighbor over there all happy-go-lucky, jolly, posting up food on Instagram or the internet or whatever, whatnot. They know they got their food over there. You've been eyeing him like, I don't like that nigga anyway. His dog's always shitting in my yard. He's always got the music playing too loud. We finna run up in his house and take his food, man. All right, this is all out chaos out here everywhere, man. All right, so this is what they're turning everybody into, all these monsters out here, man. All right. Second Ezra 16 and 18. Or 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? All right, now this is Ezra that's speaking like this, man. All right, the man of the Lord and whatever, whatnot, but just imagine, now he's in the right mind, all right? Now imagine the rest of these people that's out here, man. Some of them are actually understanding there's some things coming down the pipeline, but then a lot of these other people are just so, not the men of the Lord that's in the truth, or people that's in, got the faith in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, but the rest of these people are like, shit, we don't care about none of this. We're going to just take every day as it goes or whatever, whatnot. Then when these things start to come to pass, all right, then they're going to be like, oh shit, what the hell's going on? How do we prepare for these things? So on and so forth, man. All right. Verse 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mourning. All right, this is where we at now. The beginning of, hey, look, how's 2020 been? All right, that could be the theme of 2020, sorrows and great mourning. All right, because, hey, there's been a lot of death, a lot of layoffs, a lot of loss of economics. All right, a lot of loss of everything, man. All right, relationships, people being locked in together. A lot of husband and wives have been being separated. Children are getting tired of being around their parents and things like that, man, and so on and so forth, man. All right, parents tired of teaching their kids at the house and everything like that. The beginning of sorrows and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death. All right, like I was saying, hey, we're not forcing you to take this vaccine, but if you want to come in this here grocery store and buy anything out the damn grocery store, or if you want to have a job, all right, and be able to go to work to get any kind of money to be able to go to the grocery store, you got to be vaccinated, So what is this going to start to cause and to create, man? All right, and, I was watching a video the other day. They was saying, if certain grocery stores, they had a certain percentage or a certain number of the population of their employees wind up testing positive or whatnot, or if it traces back, they have to wind up shutting down for 14 days, man. All right. And so, let's say you live in a little small town or whatnot, where, my grandma lived in a small town in Georgia. I think they only got one, it might have two grocery stores, but I think they only have one grocery store in the whole little town, man. They got to drive like fucking 35, 45 miles to get to the next grocery store, man. All right. And this little small town only got they just put two other ones out there. But they only had one red light in the whole town, man. All right. But nevertheless, imagine if you're in a place in a town like that and that grocery store wound up closing down for 14 days, man. All right. Most people don't buy groceries that far out or whatnot to be able to sustain themselves, man. And the grocery stores only carry about a 3-day supply of food, man, because they operate on the, how they say, on a order to needs basis or whatnot. Most grocery stores don't have back rooms, man, because they get shipments either once or twice a day, man. All right. But imagine, all of a sudden the grocery store shutting down and people can't get no more food. And then once they open back up, everybody rushed to go to the store and try to stockpile and everything. And it's all empty, just like how the shelves were when the toilet paper frenzy happened, man. Verse 19, behold, famine and plague. And that's another thing. A lot of people say, oh, well, the crops and blah, 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 and that's going to cause a famine. Hey, man, they can so-called artificially create a famine by easily just shutting down the grocery stores, man. Shutting down the transport of certain things. Shutting down the production plants of these things, man. If you ain't got no food, you can't get to it, man. All right, or hell, if you can't go inside the stores without a vaccine, then hey, there's a famine, man. All right. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation, anguish are sent as scourges for an amendment. All right, tribulation, plagues, tribulation, and anguish, man. This is the times that we're living in right now, man. How do I say? Woes, mourning, lamentation, mournings, and woes, man. These are the times that we're living in right now, man. All right. Let me jump down to 22. It says, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. And you can see how this will plan out, especially the people that's not rooted in faith, because, us that's in this here truth and have faith in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, that's where all of our faith is. Our whole investment, we invested into this one thing, But nevertheless, the rest of these people that are just like hardcore, we're not taking this here vaccine or whatnot, man. Okay, well, you can't go to the grocery store no more, man. All right, so what do you think is going to wind up happening, man? All right, there's going to be basically a famine for those people, man. All right, then what? People are going to be spoiling each other's house for the lack of bread and things like that. So what? Sword and destruction, man. They're going to use the military to start implementing these shots or whatnot, man. All right, and then they got the quarantine camps and everything like that, man. So only trials and great tribulation is coming to this here place, man. All right. I'm gonna go. Well, I'm gonna close out with this actually. Isaiah, what is that? Isaiah. This isn't what I wanted, but this, hey, spirit. Isaiah 19:2. It says, "I will set." Hold up. It says, "I will set Egyptian against Egyptian, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom." All right, and again, going into because of the lack of bread, can't go into the grocery stores, can't can't go, no longer can work. If that's your stance, you're not gonna take a vaccine. You can't no longer work. Kids can't go to school no more. Just imagine these people, man, who used to have a life where they used to go to work, send the kids to school, go to the grocery store and everything like that. Now they're forced to just stay at home and just wither away and die or whatnot. If the government don't come in and separate your family, man. All right, what is that gonna do to their mind state, man? Make them get on the defensive mechanism. They're gonna be on have their defenses up, and then they're gonna eventually go on the offense, man. Start lashing out on everybody else because you know what? My whole life been taken away from me. I can't provide for my family no more. We're losing everything, about to get evicted because I ain't been able to make a mortgage payment in the last X amount of time or whatnot. Can't get groceries. Kids don't go to school no more. And then, hey, that might put the divide between the mother and the father or the mother and the daughter, the father and the son, and so on and so forth, the husband and the wife, for that matter of sake, man. All right. Let me try to find what I was looking for, though. Yeah, here we go. Isaiah 30:1-3. It says, "Woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me." All right, and that's going into our people, man. All right, because they trying to figure out what to do, and they're listening to the government, the same wicked government, the devil that's been oppressing you since you got over here, instead of listening to your own brethren that the Lord lifted up, raised up to show you the right way, man. All right, they don't want to listen to us. Oh, y'all conspiracy theories, y'all this and that. Why would the government want to try to kill us? Like, when was this government ever not trying to kill you since you got over here? You forgot your history, man. Because they didn't pull this cloak over your eyes, and you think y'all all equal or whatever, whatnot, man. You think, you and your eyes are colorblind, and you think that the so-called white man is colorblind, don't see you as a so-called Negro no more, man. And so that he actually have the best interest for you. So you doing what? You putting your trust into this here society, this government to take care of you, man. All right, and this is going to cause the death of many people, man. All right. Woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. And ultimately, the ultimate sin that you can't be forgiven for is what? Taking that RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast, man. All right. So you want to take counsel? Oh, if I can, the government say, hey, shit, if we get this shot or whatever, we can go back to work. We can go back to public gatherings, clubs, bars, weddings, funerals. Send the kids back to school, go back to work. We can get all these different, go to the grocery store, start traveling again, or whatever, whatnot. You taking that counsel from your enemy, which never had, his best intentions for you, man. All right. Verse 2, that go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth, that strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. All right. In a time like this where they're propagating that there's some disease out here that's running rampant, that's killing off everybody or whatever, whatnot, which there is something out there. But nevertheless, everybody's afraid or whatever, whatnot. How are we going to move? How are we going to do this? How are we going to do that? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? 2/3 of our people, it never crossed their mind to take counsel of the Lord, see what the Lord is going to do, But some of them, they have, but they don't understand and know the Lord. So they go to these churches, and these churches have been paid off, all right, to calm the population. This is how they use it, direct and manipulate our people, man. All right, we have leaders as well, too, in the so-called Black and Latino and Native American communities, man. It's normally our pastors, our preachers, our celebrities and things like that. Whatever they tell us to do, that's what we wind up doing, man. All right, so what? They're going to tell these celebrities to, just like, hey, you just had the elections. Who do they who do they have to wake Jacob to go out and vote? Wasn't the politicians? They didn't have, Donald Trump and Joe Biden go out there and speak to the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans to go and vote and persuade them to vote. No, they told them, they passed down the bag onto their so-called leaders, which are your pastors at your church and your celebrities. They always was having like your LeBron James and your local rappers, or not local, your big time rappers or whatever. It's important to vote, go vote, cast your vote count, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Because why? Our people are lost, and they want to listen to those people that look like them, their own brethren. But these people are in wickedness, man. They're not taking counsel from the Lord. They're taking counsel from their own oppressors, man, the damn devil. All right. Verse 3, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust of Egypt your confusion. All right, because you want to put your trust into this damn devil. All right, that's going to wind up being your shame, man. When you find out that, they promise you peace and safety. All right, but it's only for a small temporary time. You're going to wind up dying anyway, man. All right, a horrible death. You're going to die at the hands of the Lord, man. All right. It says, in the trust of Egypt, your confusion. Because while listening to what they propagate here off the media, the news, and their heads, the speakers are, the talking heads or whatever, whatnot, they're going to persuade you and make you believe that it's so safe to have this here, whether it's the vax or whether it's the mark of the beast, which is the RFID chip, man. They're going to woo you into these things, but it's ultimately going to be your own destruction, man. You're going to wonder why these things are happening to you or whatever. If we was to go on that long, you take these vaccines, you wonder why you can no longer reproduce. Your whole everything will wind up changing. Just like when they get these kids these vaccines nowadays in school, they go from being lively, vibrant children, very active and speaking and everything like that, to being very quiet and just sitting there just like lost off into space, man. All right. But nevertheless, hey, man, this is what we're doing right now, man. This is what Esau is doing right now, depopulating the earth, man. All right. Making it to where he can basically, how do I say, turn on his new world order, man. All right. But hey, we know that this is the end all be all, and we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua Bashim Rakak Kodash for waking us up to this, guiding us and giving us, teachers that would, show us the right way, man, so we wouldn't be lost in the sauce out here, man. You know, the water you have Bashim Yahweh Shah for that, man, because, hey, we could be out here lost and not knowing what the hell to do. Do we take this? Do we take that? We got to do it to be safe and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to be smart, bro. I ain't about to catch this thing and wind up dying and whatever, whatnot, bring this back to my kids and so on and so forth and X, Y, and Z and everything like that. I'm going to do what seems wise in my own mind, you know, and that's what, hey, that's going to lead a lot of people to their destruction, man. So I'm going to go ahead and close out with that. Lord willing, this here lesson was edifying unto the elect. Until next time, I say, call halal Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, Aki, pushing this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Until next time, I say, stay strong. Shalom.